The village of Antwerp has experienced many changes in the past few years. Business sales and relocations, renovated buildings, new restaurants, a boutique, and a new photography studio. Now, that studio is expanding to include Antwerp's first dedicated community theater space. Studio 211 is owned by Chris and Crystal Banks, longtime residents of Antwerp and owners of Creative Landscapes and CC Banks Productions, a live theater company started in 1998.
I've been doing theater for 25 years, all started because of my oldest daughter, Rachel, who started acting at 6 years old. There weren't that many opportunities for her, so we started doing theater, and I created my own production company so that she would have a place to keep going on it.
Chris has partnered with his daughter, Rachel Dillon, a 2011 graduate of Antwerp High School, to create Studio 211. Rachel is a photographer and owns her own business, Red Letter Photography, LLC. Studio 211 is a place where the family interests and talents can be fully developed and shared with the community.
It's a photography studio and it's a rehearsal space for CC Banks Productions, and it's also now the home of the Antwerp community theater that we have going on, which is like a black box sort of thing. We've kind of named it Studio 211, so it's not any specific thing, and if we want to expand on that and end up doing anything else with it, community events or renting it for party space, or my sister is a dancer that's extremely trained and she might end up wanting to use it to teach dance eventually. We've talked about having like youth theater productions here or youth classes.
Many residents of Antwerp remember the building as Nick's nostalgia when it was owned by Chris's parents, Nick and Karen Banks. Some may even remember when it was owned by Chris's grandparents and operated as a Ford dealership and repair shop in the 1950s. But now, the space is completely transformed with an entirely different aesthetic. The large window front room that was once filled with relics from the past is a modern photography studio and sitting area where the theater guests will enjoy food and conversation before the show. The most drastic change to the building, however, is the addition of the 70-seat theater that Chris has constructed by himself using remnants that he has collected from other theaters. He's in the process of building and installing everything himself: the stage, floor, lighting, sound system, and set. At the end of February, the theater will open for CC Banks Productions' first play in Studio 211, Arsenic and Old Lace.
Arsenic and Old Lace is a play. It was made in the 1940s, and there's also a movie starring Cary Grant of the same thing. And it's about two sisters, Abby Brewster and Martha Brewster, and they're two elderly sisters that live together in an old Victorian house. And they have a nephew that they're kind of looking out for and taking care of, and he has a love interest that he's going to be getting engaged to. And the two sisters, they're really kind, sweet old ladies, but they have a little dark side to them, and they tend to serve the elderly gentlemen that come calling on the house elderberry wine that's laced with arsenic and other poisons in it. And then they end up burying them in the basement of the house. So it's a unique little show. It's a dark comedy. It's actually very funny. It's a cute show. There's 14 in the cast of it, and that's made up of people from as far away as Bryan, Ohio.
Some of the cast members from Antwerp include Rachel and her husband Mason Dillon, Crystal Banks, Dr. James and Sue Gray, and Cord and Corey Earhart. The Banks plan on many more theater productions in Studio 211 in the future.
Future plans would be to add a full season of shows on, and then hopefully we're going to get into where we're going to develop the youth in the community to get them involved in our theater program too. And of course I've got 4 grandkids now, and that's part of the reason for building the space too, because I think all 4 of them are going to have some form of theater bug in them too. So
Rachel plans to grow her photography business at Studio 211 as well. Rachel and her husband recently moved back to Antwerp from the Fort Wayne area and live within minutes from the studio.
I've been doing photography for about 5 years, but the last couple of years of when I really started pushing it as a career more than just like a side hustle sort of thing. But I do pretty much a little bit of everything. I have events up here. I had Santa up here. It goes over really well. The kids love Santa and they get to have really cute pictures with him. And I've done a few other mini sessions up here. We did Valentine's minis and things like that. And then aside from studio work, I do outside stuff all the time. Families, seniors, probably my favorite. I have a lot of fun doing all of that, and enjoy it, and it's really nice that my job is something that I love.
The Banks family is excited for the community to join them for their first production in Studio 211. Arsenic and Old Lace will take the stage February 24th through the 26th, March 3rd and March 4th. Tickets are $20 for the show or $45 for the show and a dinner provided by Grant's Catering. For this production, tickets can be purchased by calling 419-506-1085. But for future events, there will be an easy online portal available for ticket purchasing. Ticket information can also be found on CC Banks Productions' Facebook page. Taylor Stiebling, ALS TV.